Good morning, beautiful person. I have to tell you, usually I don't have a problem pressing go live on these little walking lives because I really enjoy them. Today I am feeling quite nervous, so I hope you will be kind. And I want to apologize to anyone, especially my family, who might feel a bit of a sting from what I'm going to talk about. I might also delete this instead of sharing it widely. We'll see. Anyway, I've been listening to Mel Robbins on Audible, and it's a straight Audible book called Working It Out, and basically she is coaching people who have all sorts of issues. This one's specifically about work, and you don't need to be an employee to have issues with work, trust me. And I just finished listening to a segment that was about a woman who is a professor in communications at a local university, and she also has 2 extra teaching jobs, and she signed up for a PhD, and basically she's running, working. And basically Mel made her slow down and figure out what it was that she was trying to achieve with this pattern of overwork that was destroying her marriage and her health and everything else. And not surprisingly, it kind of struck home with me because she's an academic and so am I, or a recovering academic, as I like to say. And basically it came down to validation. When she was a little kid, she sought praise from her father by overachieving, by cleaning the house and doing things. And she was an overachiever. She was great at everything she does and so on. And she's continued with this pattern because she was so addicted to people telling her she was doing a good job. And like every time there was a ping on her phone, there was somebody who needed her, and therefore her life had meaning, and so on. And basically Mel made her confront that fact and set better boundaries, setting, open hours at home for herself and her husband and her dogs. She didn't have kids, and going from there. So it really struck home with me because, I've kind of been on a kick with Brené Brown and with Eckhart Tolle, and this is not the first Mel Robbins book I've listened to. I also like to read, but for some reason listening while I'm walking or running it just strikes in a whole different way. Everybody's different, I guess. This works for me. Usually what happens is I get the audiobook and then afterwards I buy the actual book, although in this case that doesn't exist. But it really struck home with me because, I'm the second born, family of overachievers. Everybody has a PhD, almost. And, being the smart one, the one with all the potential, the one who was going to be a high flyer and, was something that was expected of me. Oops, sorry, just walking by somebody who's being very noisy. Just going to cross the street as soon as some cyclists have gone by, and you can see them. Get away from the noise as much as I can. But so I actually did go and get a PhD in physics. And I like physics, but I don't love physics as much as a lot of other people in my family. And it's funny because my family is kind of split between people who do physics and people who do psychology. And I really should have ended up on the psychology side, but no, I had to go on the physics side. And because I am actually smart, I did actually manage to do this. I also gave myself an autoimmune disease, which amazingly is now in remission. How funny is that? I mean, it also has to do with the way I eat and take care of myself and so on. But I've been going through quite a lot of stress and not enough sleep and so on, and I'm still in remission. So it's quite amazing how that works. That I was so sick all of the years. I've had this disease since 1987. And the last couple of years, no meds, nothing. I'm just the mind-body connection is an amazing thing. But it still stings that I am not the academic that I was expected to be. And I did write papers and was successful and so on. But I was just miserable and I was sick, and I was able to use that illness to not have to do the things that I felt I should do. And for many, many years I used that illness. I had 3 kids, I had babies. Actually, I will say jokingly about my 3rd baby that would, when in doubt, have another baby. So seriously, 58 years old, and I've spent most of my life finding reasons not to do what it is that I want to do and that I feel called to do. So just wanted to talk about that. It's not easy, but hey, life is not about easy. The reason my face is so red in this video is because even though it's hot and humid, by Winnipeg standards anyway, apparently it's 55%, which for us is very humid. I did go out and do my run. That's why my face is so red. But I did it because all of my life I have been addicted to making excuses, and it's like I am the girl of infinite potential and pathetic achievement. That was my story. And yesterday I did a video about what people do when they reach a goal and how they devalue the goal as soon as they've reached it. People get very impressed and excited when they hear I have a PhD in physics. To me, I just look back and I was like, well, that was mostly a waste of time. I shouldn't have done that. The only good thing really that came out of that, aside from the fact that I can put doctor before my name, which I usually don't, is that, that's where I met my husband, and that's why I have the children that I have, and I live in the place that I have, and I have absolutely no regrets about that. But I do wish that I had come to this conclusion earlier, just waving at a lady that I see on her bike every morning when I'm out here. And, but maybe it's not possible to rush these things. Maybe these things happen in their time. So this is just a question for you, and I'd love to talk with you about it. Are you addicted to disappointment? For so many years I was addicted to being disappointed in myself because it was a safe identity for me. I have so much potential. I could do so much. People would get very impressed with the way I presented, and then I would be a disappointment. And I don't even know if I was a disappointment to them, but I was a disappointment to myself. And now I'm really working on not doing that. Comparitis is a disease that all of us are subject to now and again. And right now I'm finding myself working with some real rock stars, and it's rearing its ugly head again. So I am a real rock star too, and I've spent my entire life finding reasons not to be. And so I want to ask you, are you addicted to disappointment? Are you someone who wants to break those patterns and grow and become who you're supposed to be? I don't remember who it was who said it's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. It isn't too late. And I would love to talk with you. Drop me a message if you would like to talk more about breaking these patterns, because I think that's going to be one of the issues of our time. And I know there's really important things going on. There's a virus, there's civil rights issues, there's anti-racism going on, which is amazing. And I'm so glad. Not glad for what sparked it, but glad that action is happening. But I think that the growth of consciousness is going to be part of this package, that we won't be able to deal with the other things without the growth of consciousness. So drop me a message if you'd like to talk about this. And you have a great day. Remember, I love you. Talk to you again soon. Bye.